So ever since in the summer at San Diego Comic-Con, when Robert Downey Jr. returned and when Anthony and Joe Russo, aka the Russo brothers, returned to the Marvel Cinematic Universe on stage. And let's be honest, it wasn't quite Thomas Hiddleston Loki reveal when Loki came on stage, but it was nearly on that level. There's been really wild theories that Robert Downey Jr., who we thought was Iron Man, who did the famous I am Iron Man scene in Avengers Endgame. There's always been crazy theories that that was actually Doctor Doom. And the Doctor Doom that we're getting in Avengers Doomsday and allegedly in the Fantastic Four movie and in Secret Wars, that's actually going to be Iron Man. Okay, yeah. So the Iron Man that died was actually Doctor Doom. And the Doctor Doom that we're getting is actually Iron Man. And they're a variant of each other. Pretty interesting. Now, I don't know who to give creditation for this because I've seen multiple videos on TikTok, Instagram about this. The Iron Man in Iron Man 1 was actually Doctor Doom. And he kind of killed off the other variant that was the real Iron Man and he took his place. Kind of Paul in for the comics, you could say. But Marvel Studios does not follow the comics at all. They don't. So the Russos recently came out and said this. The Russo bros and Robert Downey Jr. would not be returning to Marvel with Avengers Doomsday if the idea wasn't really explosive. I mean, that would be explosive. But would they retcon the whole of Iron Man's legacy by saying, yeah, that was actually Doctor Doom? Why would he come back if we didn't feel like we had a story on an equal footing with Infinity War and Endgame? As much as I like Infinity War and Endgame, let's be honest, the writing wasn't god tier. It was just really cool to have a bunch of superheroes in the same movie, realistically. So, yo, what is good, YouTube? What's you here? If you are new around, subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, pop culture-based content that I try to deliver on a daily basis. If you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know what is your actual theory about Robert Downey Jr. returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and who is he actually playing? Is he playing Doctor Doom? Is he playing Iron Man? Is he playing a variant? Is he going to be evil? Let us know down below. Also, follow us on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And follow us on Twitter, WarstuG. All right, let's get into it. So, RDJ and the Russos were already working on a new project together when Marvel called about returning for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Now, this makes it more interesting. We'd been working on another project before Marvel approached all of us. So we're working on another project with Robert, and there was a story that evolved through conversations with Marvel that got us very excited about it. Because it's always got to be a story. Why would we come back if we didn't feel like we had a story that had the possibility of being on an equal footing with Infinity War and Endgame, unless there's a kernel idea there that's really explosive. So whatever this storyline is, they're hyping up. Most people think Doomsday is essentially going to be an origin story where Doom's actually trying to save the multiverse and he's got to accumulate everything into one world. And then we've got Battle World and Doom's actually the hero. He kind of takes on an Iron Man position. So there's lots of different theories going around. So someone called the Geeky Cast said this. I think the coolest way to give depth and just to mind audience would to say Doom was there with Tony the whole time because Tony Doom died. And in Avengers Doomsday, we see the perspective that took over his life in the 616 and lived a lie. However, in Doom's flashback sequences, we see he eventually escaped in his universe and killed Tony and wants to restore what was once stolen from him. Now, that would be pretty cool, but it would kind of be retconning the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But Doctor Doom can't just be a basic villain. He's got to be relatable. He's got to be sympathetic. Thanos had a plan to wipe out half the universe, which is kind of ironic because, careful for spoilers, in Agatha all along, they've introduced Lady Death or Mistress Death, aka Death, who is kind of like Thanos' girlfriend in the comics or Deadpool's girlfriend in the comics. But where the freaking hell was Death? It wasn't like he was wiping out half of the universe to impress her, or maybe he was, but we never actually seen this. So there's lots of ways they can go with Doctor Doom being the villain, but I don't actually think he's going to be a villain. He's going to be trying to save the multiverse that is dying. We know the multiverse is dying, but one thing that was apparent in Deadpool and Wolverine, probably the only thing that was actually like, you know, made sense in that movie was the 616 timeline is sacred and it has to be there. Every other universe can have an incursion and can die and no one freaking cares. But they did say, yo, the 616 is so freaking important. And I don't think Kevin, I mean, some people say they've run out of ideas, so that's why they're bringing Josh Brolin back to play King Thanos. That's why apparently Ultron's coming back. That's why Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. But some people also say that apparently there's another Doctor Doom played by Cillian Murphy, who is the actually God Emperor Doom. So we don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of chatter online and a lot of people talking about, yeah, these people are going to be it, that people's going to be it. But we don't really need to know the heroes and villains in it thus far. It's essentially got to build up to Avengers Secret Wars, which is Battleworld. So there's going to have to be some universe left. The 616 potentially could be destroyed, but we know at some point there's going to be Doomsday, Spider-Man 4 in between. So it's got to be multiversal based, then Secret Wars, and then it will maybe do some soft variation of a soft reboot. Now, according to God War Joe on Twitter, he had this to say. So Steve Rogers, Captain America, the real Captain America, will use the Soul Stone that he never returned to bring Iron Man back to take out Doctor Doom in Secret Wars. Now, how cool would that be if, say, the Doctor Doom, who we actually thought was Iron Man, was really Doctor Doom, but he pretended to be Iron Man, or some variation of that? What if it comes down to Doctor Doom, RDJ, taking on Iron Man, RDJ? Because, you know, with the reports saying Robert Downey Jr. is basically filming the movie himself, I mean, that's talking about Avengers Doomsday, but that will be pretty cool. But obviously, this theory can't happen, but it is freaking Marvel, and Marvel don't really care. But then I was told, yeah, obviously God War Joe is my name on Twitter. You can't take a soul back if the stone never took it in the first place. But what happens if, I mean, my comic book knowledge isn't the best. What happens if Lady Death resurrects the fallen Avengers? Or what if there's some crazy time travel where the Avengers never die? The endless possibilities of this movie is actually pretty cool. And why I like to buy into these series and stuff is because no one knows anything. Even Scoopers come out and say stuff. You know, they all said, oh, the movie's, careful spoilers, they all said Venom 3 is going to end with the God of Symbiote Null coming down to the MCU and Venom going to the 616 MCU. Okay, potentially the Venom part is true, but we know that Null, multiverse threat, is stuck on Clintar. And everyone's like, yeah, Null's going to be part of Doctor Doom's team. Well, how can he? He's stuck on Clintar. He needs another codec. And if Spider-Man 4 is going to play out the way everyone think it is, Peter Parker's going to essentially die, and the Venom symbiote is going to bond with him to save his life. He's going to die temporarily. Then here create a new codex, and it'll be due to Spider-Man why Null, the god of symbiotes and the guy stuck in Clintar, can leave. So I don't really think many people know what's going on, but there's a few people talking about this, oh, Doctor Doom kind of RDJ storyline maybe was Iron Man. Yeah, which I find it fascinating. I don't really think there's that much proof, to be honest, realistically. RDJ was brought back to save the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's all. You know why? Because RDJ says there is no MCU without him. And realistically, there is no MCU without him. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Doctor Strange 2 did just under $1 billion. Deadpool and Wolverine did 1.3 billion. So yeah, some movies have made substantial amount of money. But it is funny how he is kind of true, but there's got to be huge setup. That's why Captain America 4, with the fake Captain America, Thunderbolts, and the Fantastic Four are all pinnacle movies, because it's like, can Marvel finally stand on its own feet without obviously Spider-Man movies always bang. But if this is the way they're going, of Iron Man was always Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom was always Iron Man, and they end up fighting each other, that would be freaking insane, man. That really would be insane. So like always, guys, let us know down below. So it's kind of a theory. It's not my original idea. I've seen these ideas floating around, but I think it would be cool if we get like a version of Iron Man fighting a version of RDJ Doctor Doom, and that is how the fight goes down in Avengers Secret Wars in like 5 years. Because are they going to stick to the mandate of 2027? Personally, I don't think they will. So like always, guys, let us know what you think of these ideas. They're not my original ideas, but they've been floating around since the reveal. Lots of people have said, oh yeah, this is how RDJ could have been Doom all the time in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this is how we get to God Emperor Doom. You know me, I'm not about the comic book shiz, but I love talking about this stuff. So let me know, who do you want Doom to be? Obviously, he's going to have to be sympathetic. He's going to have to be relatable. He can't just be like a Thanos kind of villain. He's got to be very clever. And, you know, Doom is essentially Iron Man in a way. They're both, you know, geniuses. They're both rich. They are very similar. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarsG. Check us on Twitter, WarsG. And I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.